Hey friend, welcome back. Have you ever wished that you would just hate the taste of insert your kryptonite here, whether it's chocolate or wine or chips or popcorn? Or do you ever just beat yourself up for just wanting what you think is that guilty pleasure, thinking that you should know better and how it may be harmful for your goals or for your health or for your weight? If this sounds like you, I first want you to know that one, you are not crazy. Two, there is nothing wrong with you. And three, you are certainly not alone. Today, I'd like to address this topic so that you don't have to shame yourself, blame yourself, or scare yourself into thinking that the thing that you truly want and love so badly is so toxic. The real work here isn't about hating the food or the substance or the drink. It's actually about understanding the meaning that our brain attaches to it so that you can meet those needs in different ways. So let's dive in. Let's dive into how you can love the taste of your favorite treat and still choose differently without having to shame yourself, scare yourself, or berate yourself into thinking that you shouldn't want the damn thing to begin with. So let's start with this first kind of overarching common struggle. What I often see is people will say, I know it's not great for my health. I know it's not good for my hormones or for my sleep or for my weight loss goal objective, but I just love the taste. And then you can insert your kryptonite, your magic potion, the thing that just hooks you. For many people, it could be coffee, it could be wine, it could be chips, it could be pizza, it could be chocolate. You get to decide. If this doesn't apply to you, congratulations. But for most people, I find that there is something that is kind of just the hook. And this default approach in mainstream kind of self-help or self-development, the traditional method would be to focus on the downsides, the things that are not so beneficial, so that you can convince yourself that this substance or this product may be toxic or may be harmful or something that can trigger your brain to understand that it's bad enough to just give it up and quit entirely. But why this often fails is that it comes from a place of fear. When we create shame about our desire, like I shouldn't want this, I should know better by now. Shame, as you may know, lives in isolation. It thrives in darkness. It wants to stay hidden. It wants to be secret. So the more that we retract and isolate ourselves with this feeling of shame and guilt, then we actually turn back to the thing that causes us to feel that shame and those emotions. So we end up in this kind of self-perpetuating loop, and sometimes for years beating ourselves up over the shame loop. So the problem with scare tactics like this, or coming from fear or lack or scarcity, is that it may spark some kind of short-term compliance. It may work for a moment to be overridden, but it also can trigger that inner teenager in us, the inner rebellion, the one that says, screw this. I deserve a treat. I deserve a reward. I just want to live a little. You know that part of us? So that's what gets triggered. So we know better than to allow that kind of refusal or rebuttal and that rebellion to take over. So as the inner teenager doesn't want to be told what to do, neither do we as adults. We don't want lectures, we don't want warnings, we don't want scare tactics. Plus, the thing that these scare tactics really overlook, in my opinion, is what the upsides are to the thing that actually attracts us, the thing that we actually love. So we have to understand that, yes, there may be some downsides to the substance, but also there are some upsides. It's providing us some kind of benefit. And the work is to understand from our own perspective what that may be. Is it the taste? Is it comfort? Is it connection? Is it something that we can avoid by having the substance, avoid feeling a feeling. So this is the part when we look at what, the scare tactic, this is what it ignores, the upsides that come along with it. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your brain realize what you deem as a treat may not be actually beneficial now at this stage of life. I find that it can be very helpful to upgrade our thoughts about, different items and habits, and preferences that have just been practiced over and over again without much thought or awareness, and how that may not lead us to our future desires and goals now at this stage of life. So I think it is totally helpful to understand that our primal brain is wired for pleasure, for comfort, to take the path that requires the least amount of energy. And it wants to do what it's practiced before, what's familiar, what's comfortable, and what's known. But our human brain, our executive part of our brain, our higher functioning, logical planning part of our brain, human brain, that executive portion of us, has our greatest good and um, highest desires in mind. It wants the best for us. So this is the future planning and evolving part of growth of an evolution comes from our executive brain, not our primal brain. So I think it's very helpful to give our primal brain evidence that this thing that we associate a treat with or reward may actually could be harmful. It could be fateful. It could have negative consequences or impacts. So I don't think it's worth overriding. But when we use the scare tactic as a primary source to kind of override this, not I think, I believe and I see how it fails and what it's missing. So the real shift is in the mindset to get curious about what this consumption actually means. Like, rather than condemning ourselves, get inquisitive and ask some deeper questions of yourself. Like, instead of starting with, I shouldn't want this thing. So, this is, bringing up the emotion of fear or stemming from fear, or it's convicting or blaming or shaming or labeling it as bad. Instead, we can start with a little bit more compassion and inquiry to say, like, okay, I really love the taste. Get curious, like, why? What else do I love? What else do I love about this substance? You can ask yourself what it provides you because there is an upside, and that's why your brain is seeking it, right? Does it provide you comfort? Does it calm you? Does it help ease your nervous system? Does it provide you a reward after a long, hard day? Does it make you feel included or connected? Or does it give you a moment of indulgence and reward, like we were talking about? Or maybe it's helping you avoid feeling something that you would rather not feel. So these are all questions to get curious about. And then what this can do is it turns this craving, this feedback into data rather than just a moral feeling of understanding, I shouldn't want this darn thing. I should know better by now. So the real reason saying no is hard is not really because of the taste. It's the association that our brain has built around that said substance. So it's how we think about the thing that we're taking in, that we're ingesting, that we're consuming, that hooks us. It's that. It's our brain and how we think about it that is the lure, the magnet to it. So when we can untangle this deeper meaning and we can really find other ways to satisfy those needs rather than through putting something into our mouth, into our body that may not be so helpful, this is where the real change can happen. So how we can move forward from here is that first of all, you just don't need to scare yourself or berate yourself or shame yourself or erase the thing that you actually love. So you can keep this joy that comes from said substance and remove the cost by, first of all, just trusting yourself, building trust with yourself, and finding other avenues or alternatives or sources to reward your life, that it doesn't have to come from a specific food or an item to put into your mouth. I've often thought about this myself, like when I catch myself, um, reaching for chocolate, I kind of feel bad for myself, thinking, oh, isn't that sad? Like, this is the only way we can get joy is by chocolate. Like, there's so many other things in life that could be so much more delightful and beneficial and helpful and joyous. And don't get me wrong, I mean, not that we shouldn't ever enjoy something, the taste of it by pleasure, but when we keep fulfilling that need with food or substance or a drink, I think that's where the examination can really come in and really re be really beneficial so that we can kind of decouple the pleasure from the food or that drink. So, what I just want to close with is that you don't need to make it the villain, the food or the substance or the drink. Um, you I think if you can just understand the relationship that you have with it and why, and then meet that need in another way, and just let the craving be something that you choose out of pleasure, out of desire, instead of something that actually chooses you. Next up in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit further about how we actually can enjoy indulgences without guilt. And I think you'll find some really cool takeaways from that. But in the meantime, I do have a free guide that can help you decode your own feelings or emotions that may be driving these cravings and which foods they may be linked to. You can grab it down in the description below. It's free. Feel free to take a gander. I don't know where that word came from. Take a peek and see if it may be helpful in helping you decode where your cravings are coming from for which specific foods. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.